Deep in the hills of Kentucky lie towns frozen in time, abandoned coal camps where the air still whispers the tragedies of miners and their families. From haunted schools to empty streets, these ghost towns hide dark secrets, chilling encounters, and restless spirits that refuse to fade. Tonight, we'll explore 10 forgotten towns, places where shadows move, whispers echo, and history itself seems alive. Brace yourself. Kentucky's most haunted ghost towns are waiting, and their stories will send shivers down your spine. 1. Blue Heron. Deep in the shadowy hills of McCreary County, Kentucky, lies Blue Heron, a coal mining town abandoned decades ago, but the darkness there has never truly left. Once alive with the sound of miners' pickaxes, children laughing, and coal trains echoing through the valleys, today the town stands frozen in silence, as if the earth itself swallowed its soul. Visitors who dare step onto its overgrown streets report an unsettling feeling, as though unseen eyes are watching every move. Rusted rails snake like veins through the land, and the hollow company store looms like a decayed skeleton. One local recalls a summer night in the 1980s, when he and his friends explored the town. The wind whispered through the old boarding houses, carrying voices calling their names. Shadows moved where no one stood, and one boy swore he saw a miner in tattered overalls vanish into thin air, leaving only the echo of a sigh behind. The real horror lies in Blue Heron's history. Miners faced peril daily, cave-ins, explosions, and deadly black lung disease claimed countless lives. Families abandoned their homes as tragedy piled upon tragedy, leaving classrooms, churches, and houses empty. By the 1960s, Blue Heron was officially gone, but locals insist the miners never left. At night, some swear the town awakens. Footsteps echo along empty streets. Faint hammering can be heard from the ruins of the mines, and a chilling mist creeps through the hollow buildings. Photographers capture glimpses of moving shadows, and hikers often report a cold presence following them, vanishing only when they turn. Blue Heron isn't just a ghost town, it's a place where the past bleeds into the present, where the spirits of those who toiled and died in the dark mines linger, watching, waiting, and whispering their secrets. Step carefully, for the hills may seem empty, but the town's curse is very real, and it's hungry for attention. If you are brave enough, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more haunted stories. 2. Bon Jellico. Hidden deep in the Appalachian hills of Kentucky, Bon Jellico was once a thriving coal mining town. Families lived in tightly packed houses, children played in the narrow streets, and the distant clang of mining equipment echoed through the valleys. But the prosperity of Bon Jellico was fleeting, and today it lies abandoned, a place where the wind itself seems to carry the voices of the past. Those brave enough to wander through the decaying town report an uneasy feeling, as if the shadows themselves are alive. Old wooden homes, now rotting and leaning, creak under the slightest breeze, and the schoolhouse sits empty, its windows like hollow eyes staring into the darkness. One visitor recalls a foggy evening when he explored the town alone. The air was thick and cold, and he could swear he heard children laughing from inside a house that had been empty for decades. When he looked closer, the laughter abruptly stopped, replaced by the distant echo of a miner's hammer striking stone, yet no one was there. The real horror of Bon Jellico lies in its history. Life in the coal mines was harsh and unforgiving. Miners faced deadly cave-ins, black lung disease, and explosions that took many lives. Families gradually abandoned their homes, leaving behind personal belongings and a silent testimony to the town's tragedies. Today, the wind carries these stories, twisting them into whispers that brush against the ears of those who dare to enter. At night, the town seems to awaken. Faint lights are sometimes seen flickering in abandoned homes, though no electricity has flowed there for decades. Shadows dart along the streets, moving against the flow of the breeze. Hikers have reported feeling a sudden chill, as if an unseen presence was walking beside them, vanishing when they turn to look. Locals warn that Bon Jellico's spirits are restless, forever trapped between the world of the living and the dead. Visiting Bon Jellico is both thrilling and terrifying. Photographers, ghost hunters, and explorers come seeking glimpses of the past, hoping to capture its eerie beauty. But many leave with more than photographs, an undeniable feeling that something unseen is watching, a presence that has lingered since the town's final miners disappeared into the darkness. Bon Jellico stands as a chilling reminder of Kentucky's coal mining past, a place where tragedy, abandonment, and lingering spirits intertwine. It is a town that whispers its stories into the wind, daring anyone who listens to uncover the secrets hidden within its crumbling walls. 3. Packard. Tucked away in the hills of Kentucky, Packard was once a small but bustling coal mining town. The streets were lined with modest homes, and the laughter of children echoed through the narrow alleys. Miners worked tirelessly in the depths of the earth, feeding the town's economy, while families struggled to make ends meet. But tragedy and misfortune would soon claim Packard, leaving it silent, abandoned, and steeped in sorrow. Today, walking through Packard feels like stepping into a world frozen in time. The old schoolhouse is empty, its windows shattered, and wooden floors warped with age. The houses are mere shells, doors hanging crooked on rusted hinges. Locals whisper about children's laughter that drifts through the empty streets at night, though no children have lived there for decades. One hiker recalls visiting the town with friends. As they passed the playground, a swing moved gently, creaking in the wind. But when they looked closer, there was no breeze, and the air was unnervingly cold. The laughter they heard was faint yet unmistakable, echoing as if coming from the past itself. The mines that sustained Packard were dangerous, and accidents were common. Miners succumbed to cave-ins, black lung disease, and explosions. Families left slowly, abandoning their homes and belongings, leaving behind a ghostly imprint of life once lived. It's said that the children who grew up here never truly left. Some locals swear that lost souls of children linger in the town, trapped in the shadows of the past. At night, Packard transforms. The moonlight casts elongated shadows across the crumbling streets, and faint footsteps follow explorers through the town. Doors that should be locked creak open on their own, and a cold chill seems to brush past, sending a shiver down the spine. Visitors often report hearing the soft cries of a child calling for their parents, echoing from the ruins of old homes. Despite the fear, Packard draws photographers, urban explorers, and thrill-seekers eager to witness its haunted legacy. Standing among the remnants of the old coal town, it's impossible not to feel the weight of history pressing in, a mixture of awe and unease. Packard is more than a ghost town, it's a place where memory, tragedy, and lingering spirits converge. Every corner tells a story, every echo whispers a warning, and every shadow reminds visitors that some souls may never find rest. 4. Bell's Mines. Deep in the hills of western Kentucky lies Bell's Mines, a town that once thrived on the promise of coal and opportunity. Miners' homes clustered near the mines, and smoke from the steam engines painted the sky with a gray haze. But the town's prosperity was fragile, and over time, tragedy and abandonment claimed it, leaving behind a place haunted not just by memory, but by something darker. Visitors to Bell's Mines often describe an unshakable sense of being watched. The old mining structures lean precariously, rusted machinery lies scattered among overgrown grass, and the empty streets feel alive with whispers. One explorer recounted walking through the ruins at dusk when he saw shadows moving at the edge of his vision. He turned, but there was no one there, yet he could feel the presence of those who had once labored in the mines, their struggles etched into the very walls. The history of Bell's Mines is harsh and unforgiving. Miners worked long hours in dangerous conditions, often facing cave-ins, fires, and toxic dust. Families abandoned their homes gradually as mining profits declined, leaving behind empty houses, schools, and churches. Locals say that the spirits of those who perished never left. On quiet nights, some claim to hear the rhythmic hammering of miners deep underground, or the faint cries of those trapped long ago. Bell's Mines has a reputation for strange apparitions. Visitors have reported ghostly figures appearing briefly in the windows of abandoned homes, only to vanish when approached. Others have felt sudden cold spots and heard whispers that seem to carry warnings, as if the town itself is trying to communicate its dark past. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, Bell's Mines draws urban explorers, photographers, and paranormal enthusiasts. Walking through the town, the air feels thick with history and sorrow. Every collapsed building, rusted rail, and forgotten tool tells the story of ambition, hardship, and lingering spirits. Bell's Mines is more than an abandoned mining town, it is a living memory of human toil and tragedy, a place where the past bleeds into the present. For those who dare to step inside, the town offers a chilling reminder: some shadows never fade, and some stories refuse to be forgotten. 5 Cumberland Falls Mining Camps. Hidden in the dense forests near Cumberland Falls State Resort Park, the Cumberland Falls mining camps were once a bustling cluster of homes, miners' quarters, and small businesses built to support Kentucky's coal boom. The roar of the falls nearby blended with the sound of pickaxes striking stone, creating a symphony of labor and life. But today, these camps are deserted, and locals whisper that the echoes of the past refuse to die. Walking through the overgrown paths of the old mining camps, visitors are immediately struck by a sense of unease. Rusted mining carts lie abandoned, wooden shacks tilt dangerously, and the air carries an inexplicable chill. One hiker recalls arriving just as the mist from the falls rolled over the forest floor. Shadows danced among the trees, and he could swear he heard the faint sounds of a miner's song, carried by the wind. The song faded whenever he tried to follow it, leaving only the whisper of leaves and his own racing heartbeat. The history of the Cumberland Falls camps is as harsh as it is tragic. Miners worked long hours in dark, dangerous tunnels, facing cave-ins, flooding, and deadly black lung disease. Families lived in cramped quarters, their lives intertwined with the mines that ultimately consumed the town. When the coal seams dwindled, residents left, abandoning homes and belongings to the forest. Yet locals insist that the spirits of the miners linger, restless and tethered to the places where they spent their lives. At night, the camps take on a haunting quality. The mist from the nearby waterfalls thickens, and the forest seems to whisper. Some visitors have reported seeing shadowy figures moving between the shacks, or hearing faint hammering from deep underground. Others speak of sudden drops in temperature and the feeling of unseen eyes following them, as though the miners themselves are still patrolling the camp, guarding secrets no living person can uncover. Cumberland Falls mining camps is not just a ghost town, it is a haunted memory of human ambition and suffering. For those who venture here, it offers a chilling glimpse into a world where tragedy and spirits intertwine, where every broken plank and rusted rail carries the weight of lives long gone but never forgotten. 6 Himlerville. Tucked away in the hills of eastern Kentucky, Himlerville, now known as Beauty, was once a thriving coal mining town, filled with the hopes and dreams of families chasing a better life. Streets buzzed with children playing, neighbors chatting, and the clatter of mining equipment. But beneath the surface of everyday life, danger lurked in the dark tunnels of the mines, and tragedy eventually turned Himlerville into a ghostly shadow of its former self. Visitors to Himlerville today are struck by an unnerving stillness. The few remaining structures lean under decades of neglect, their windows staring like hollow eyes into the surrounding woods. One urban explorer recalls wandering through the old company store at dusk, hearing faint whispers and footsteps echo through the empty halls. He could feel a cold presence brushing past him, and when he turned, the room appeared empty, yet the unease lingered, pressing on his chest like the weight of history itself. The town's decline began as the mines grew dangerous and less profitable. Cave-ins, black lung disease, and mining accidents claimed the lives of many workers. Families gradually left, abandoning homes and belongings, leaving the streets and buildings to decay. But locals insist that the spirits of the miners and their families never truly departed. On certain nights, some swear they hear children laughing faintly in the distance, or the rhythmic hammering of pickaxes deep within the earth. At night, Himlerville takes on a chilling, almost alive quality. Shadows twist in the moonlight, and the wind carries whispers that seem to tell stories of ambition, loss, and regret. Hikers and photographers have reported sudden drops in temperature, strange noises, and fleeting glimpses of figures vanishing around corners. The town's atmosphere is thick with the energy of lives once lived and lost, a reminder that Himlerville's past refuses to stay buried. Himlerville is more than an abandoned town, it is a haunted echo of human dreams and tragedies, a place where ambition collided with the harsh realities of mining life. Every crumbling building, every silent street, holds a fragment of a story, a story that beckons the brave to step inside and listen to the whispers of those who never left. 7 Barthell. Nestled in the hills of McCreary County, Kentucky, Barthell was once a bustling coal mining town, filled with families who called it home and miners who risked their lives daily. Wooden houses lined the streets, children played near the tracks, and the rhythmic sounds of pickaxes and steam engines echoed through the valleys. But time and tragedy turned Barthell into a silent, haunting shell of its former self. Today, walking through Barthell is like stepping into a frozen memory. The old schoolhouse, company store, and miners' homes remain, but the silence is overpowering. One visitor recounts entering an abandoned house at dusk. The wooden floors creaked under his feet, and the wind whispered through broken windows. Then, faintly, he heard a child's laughter behind him, but when he spun around, the room was empty. The eerie feeling of being watched followed him as he hurried out, leaving the house to its ghosts. The town's decline began as mining profits fell and accidents became more frequent. Cave-ins, explosions, and deadly diseases claimed the lives of many miners. Families left, homes were abandoned, and the streets grew quiet, leaving the town to slowly decay under the relentless hands of nature. Locals still speak of strange shadows moving among the ruins and the faint echoes of miners' tools striking stone late into the night. Barthell has a reputation for unexplained occurrences. Visitors often report sudden chills, doors opening on their own, and fleeting glimpses of figures in overgrown yards. Even the forests around the town seem to hum with the memories of those who toiled and lived here, whispering warnings to those who dare to explore. Despite its eerie atmosphere, Barthell draws history enthusiasts, photographers, and thrill seekers. Standing amid the decaying town, one cannot help but feel the weight of past lives pressing down, the echoes of laughter, toil, and tragedy lingering like a haunting melody. Barthell is more than a ghost town, it is a place where silence screams, where the stories of miners and their families are etched into every crumbling wall. To walk its streets is to step into history, but also to feel the presence of those who never truly left. 8 Eolia. Hidden in the rugged hills of Letcher County, Kentucky, Eolia was once a small, thriving coal town where families worked hard and children ran freely through the streets. Life revolved around the mines, dangerous, dark tunnels where miners risked everything to provide for their loved ones. But over time, economic decline and tragedy turned Eolia into a ghostly remnant of the past, leaving behind crumbling homes and silent streets that echo with unseen memories. Today, those who wander through Eolia speak of a haunting presence that seems to follow every step. Rusted rail tracks weave through overgrown fields, while wooden houses lean precariously, their windows staring like hollow eyes. One explorer recounted visiting Eolia at dusk. As he stepped onto the empty main street, he felt a sudden drop in temperature. Shadows shifted at the edge of his vision, and he could hear faint whispers, soft voices speaking words long forgotten. When he turned to look, nothing was there. But the feeling of being watched remained, pressing on his chest like a heavy weight. The town's past was fraught with danger. Miners faced cave-ins, explosions, and deadly black lung disease. Families abandoned their homes as the mines closed, leaving behind furniture, personal items, and the lingering energy of lives abruptly ended. Locals claim that the spirits of miners and children still roam Eolia, wandering among the ruins, caught between the living and the dead. At night, Eolia becomes even more unnerving. Faint lights seem to flicker in the broken windows, and the wind carries distant echoes of laughter, hammering, or voices calling names. Hikers and paranormal enthusiasts often report sudden chills, fleeting shadows, and the feeling of an unseen presence brushing past. Some insist that the town itself is alive, a vessel for memories too strong to fade. Eolia is more than just an abandoned town, it is a haunted testament to human struggle and tragedy. Every dilapidated building, every overgrown path, tells a story of ambition, labor, and the lingering spirits of those who never truly left. Walking through Eolia is a journey into a past that refuses to rest, a place where ghosts among ruins remind us that some echoes never die. 9 Airdrie. Deep in the hills of Letcher County, Kentucky, lies Airdrie, a coal mining town long abandoned, yet still very much alive in the whispers of the past. Once home to hard-working miners and their families, the streets of Airdrie were filled with laughter, chatter, and the clatter of mining tools. Today, the town is silent, the buildings crumbling, and the air thick with an unseen presence. Visitors often describe a chilling sensation upon entering the old town. Wooden homes lean precariously, windows gape like empty eyes, and the remnants of the old coal company store still stand, eerily intact. One explorer shared a story of walking through the abandoned streets at dusk. As the sun dipped behind the hills, he heard faint voices calling his name, accompanied by the soft echo of footsteps, yet no one was there. A sudden gust of wind seemed to push him forward, urging him to leave, but the pull of the town's dark history kept him rooted. Airdrie's history is one of tragedy and loss. Miners faced treacherous conditions daily, with cave-ins, gas explosions, and black lung disease claiming countless lives. Families abandoned their homes as the mines closed, leaving behind personal belongings, children's toys, and echoes of laughter that now feel like ghostly whispers. Locals believe that these are the forgotten souls who remain tethered to Airdrie, unable to move on. At night, Airdrie's atmosphere becomes even more unsettling. Shadows seem to move on their own, the wind carries muffled voices, and the faint smell of coal smoke lingers despite decades of abandonment. Some visitors have reported seeing figures standing at the edge of the forest, watching silently before vanishing into the darkness. Others speak of hearing the distant hammering of miners deep within the ground, a reminder that the town's past is never truly gone. Airdrie is more than a ghost town, it is a haunting reminder of human toil and tragedy, a place where memories refuse to fade. Every abandoned house, every cracked pathway, and every rusted tool tells a story of lives once lived and lost. For those who wander here, it's impossible to escape the feeling that the town is alive, watching, and waiting for visitors to hear the stories of the forgotten souls of Kentucky. 10 Partridge Coal Camps. High in the rugged hills of Letcher County, Kentucky, lie the remnants of the Partridge Coal Camps, once a bustling network of homes and mines where families lived and miners toiled endlessly. The town's history is steeped in tragedy. Miners called it the Widowmaker Mines, a grim nickname earned from the countless lives lost in cave-ins, explosions, and black lung disease. Today, the camps stand abandoned, but the echoes of sorrow and fear remain, haunting every shadowed corner. Walking through Partridge Coal Camps feels like stepping into a frozen nightmare. Rusted mining equipment lies scattered among overgrown streets, wooden homes lean precariously, and the company store sits as a hollow reminder of life long gone. Visitors speak of an unsettling presence, as if invisible eyes are watching from every crumbling wall. One adventurer recounts walking near the old mine shafts at dusk, when he felt a cold hand brush past his shoulder. Turning quickly, he saw nothing, but the air itself seemed charged with grief and warning. The mines themselves tell the darkest tales. Generations of miners risked their lives daily, and many never returned home. Families were left behind to grieve, and gradually, the town emptied as mining profits dwindled. Yet locals insist that the spirits of the miners linger, trapped between life and death, reliving the accidents and hardships they endured. On quiet nights, some say they can hear distant hammering, faint cries, or whispers drifting from the mine shafts, chilling even the bravest of souls. Partridge Coal Camps has earned a fearsome reputation among urban explorers. Shadows dart in corners where no one stands, doors swing open on their own, and the faint smell of coal smoke seems to linger in the air. Hikers and paranormal enthusiasts often feel an oppressive weight, as if the very ground remembers every tragedy and refuses to let go. The town is more than an abandoned mining site, it is a haunted monument to human suffering and perseverance, a place where the past refuses to rest. Every broken house, rusted rail, and empty street whispers the story of those who lived, labored, and died here. For anyone brave enough to step inside, Partridge Coal Camps offers a chilling reminder. Some towns never truly die, and some spirits are forever bound to the mines they once called home.